In this video, I'm going to review creating assessments using the item bank in MasteryConnect. There's more than one way to create an assessment in MasteryConnect. The first route is to go through your grade level curriculum map. Another way to create an assessment is by utilizing the Assessments tab. The first step is to click Create New Assessment. In the next window, you'll provide a title for your assessment. You can view its alignment. You'll want to leave the source exactly as it is here under Item. You can also adjust the privacy for your assessment to be private to either just you, your school, or your district. Once you've provided your assessment with a title and adjusted any necessary settings, click Next. From here, you'll add a question to your assessment by clicking on this blue plus button. If you'd like to add an assessment item from an item bank, select Add from Item Bank. I highly suggest utilizing the Filter Items option to filter items based on your specific needs. Within the filters, you can filter by the item bank, the standard, the question type, whether or not the item contains a passage, difficulty, DOK, blooms, the language, as well as other features that are available within MasteryConnect. When designing an assessment for your students, I do suggest leaving the item bank as all. Within the standard box, you can select one or multiple standards for the items in which you'd like to preview. Once I've selected my standard, I can come over here to the left-hand side of the screen to preview the questions. To preview a question, I simply click on it and it will display in the center box here. In order to be able to preview the passage associated with the question, I can click this drop down here and it will expand the passage. If I'd like to sort my questions based on the passage titles, utilize this additional sort button here to sort passage A to Z. What this is going to do is it's going to not only group the questions for this particular standard together, but it's going to group them in a way that aligns with the passage that the students will be presented with. As you can see here, the passage title is listed, Mrs. Christine and Corbett's Bank. I can see there's another question here that utilizes the same passage. When designing assessments for my students, I don't want to present them with too many passages, so I'm going to use these sort and filter options to group these questions together according to the passage that students will be presented with. Then, as I'm surveying and looking for questions, I'm looking at this passage title to see which passages have an appropriate amount of questions. Once I've found a question that I'd like to add to my assessment, I click this plus button here. You can also click on the select button here in the center window. When I add a question, I see down here in this blue box, Add Item 1 has changed. This indicates that I've added one item to my assessment. I'm going to continue going through the questions and adding additional assessment items to my assessment until I have completed building my assessment. Once I've completed the process of building my assessment, I'm going to click on the blue Add Items button. The next window is going to provide me with a preview of my assessment. I can see there's one standard, 2 questions, and 2 points. I can utilize the Builder tab to preview the questions, the Analysis tab that will show me an analysis of the assessment items, and the Answer Key tab in order to preview the answers. I can utilize the scoring option here to adjust the scoring specifications for my assessment. Once I've made the adjustments here, I would click Save. Once I've made any necessary adjustments to my assessment and the scoring, I'm going to click the option to create assessment. The next step is getting this assessment into your trackers. If you created this assessment from your curriculum maps, you'll want to view the next video, Applying Updates to Trackers in MasteryConnect. If you created this assessment from the Assessments tab, you'll want to watch the video, Adding an Assessment to My Tracker.